Hello and welcome everybody to the 52nd edition of Vision du Réel International Film Festival. As you might know, the festival is taking place online due to the actual pandemic. Nevertheless, there will be screenings and other activity taking place on site in Nyon in Switzerland from April 15 to the 24th. I'm very glad to be here with Andrea Segre, Director of Molecole. Thank you very much, Andrea, for being with us.
Thank you.
And so, Andrea, can you tell us a little bit about how the project was born and what have been the conditions during the shooting?
Yes, so thank you for the invitation, and I'm glad to be present in the Festival of Neon, also if it's only virtually. The film I'm going to present, you are going to watch, actually, I could say was never born as a project. So was born as a film, but it has never been in the phase of being a project because I didn't know that I was going to film this film. I was in Venice researching and filming for other projects. But Venice is not my town, so I mean somehow it's my town because it's the town of my father, but I'm living in Rome since 20 years, and I grew up in Padova near Venice, but I have never been a citizen of Venice. And nowadays, to be a citizen of Venice, it's a particular status, and also this topic is connected with the film. But I was in Venice for researching and filming for other projects. We started at the end of February 2020. And as you know, at the end of February, the COVID pandemic started. Venice slowly became empty because, first of all the tourists went away, then all the workers connected to tourism went away, and then also the citizens were obliged to stay home. And I felt that I had to stay in Venice. I didn't want to come back home in Rome. I invited my family to join me in Venice, and I started to go around with my camera, which was somehow also, it was like that it was allowed to go around if you had a dog. So my camera was my dog. Going around with my camera, the police didn't stop me. They thought that I was a journalist or something like that, and they didn't stop me. And so I went all around Venice, and this trip in incredible magic and also very somehow fragile and sad town. It was the occasion to make also a journey in time, not only in space, and to think about my relation with this town, with Venice, and with my father. As I told you, my father grew up in Venice. He had a strong relation with the town, but he never explained me why and what was the reason, the root of his relation with the town. And this journey in this empty Venice was somehow also a journey in the empty space left by the death of my father, and was a journey in the silences of my father. And so Molecole became a sort of very private and very public journey in this very strange empty space and empty time we were living, and we are still somehow living.
And how you met your characters, because you were saying that this was not a project, so I guess that it was a kind of improvised or part of the destiny, and what they represented for you in the making of the movie.
But actually the characters in Molecole are the characters of the project. So I met them as character of another project. and then they became character of this project. So as I told you, I left Roma and I moved to Venice to develop other two projects, one for cinema and one for theater. And the characters you can follow in Molecole were supposed to be the characters of the theater project, which was an idea of mixing cinema and theater, and was a project about the relation between Venice and waters, connected with this big system to block the waters of the sea. The project of the theater was connected with this topic, and actually all the characters of Molecole are Venetian citizens who have a strong relation with water in terms of everyday life. So they know perfectly how to move in a city built on the water, how to move not only in a physical way, but also somehow in an ethical and existential way in this relation. And with them, I understood that this very strange phenomena was happening and our life were going to meet the pandemic, and we discovered the emptiness of Venice together, and was really privileged. But it was by chance to have the opportunity to discover the empty Venice with Venetians. I was following for the other project, so it was really a very interesting and important occasion for me. But it was by chance, so we couldn't plan it, of course.
Well, I guess it was a very lucky chance. And you were mentioning before that this for you has been a film, also a very private, in a very global moment. There was a writing that was for you very intimate in this situation. And how did you work on articulating your voiceover on the images?
As I told you, this occasion to be in the silence of Venice was an occasion to enter in the silences of my father somehow, and to understand which was the relation between him and Venice. And I decided, I had the feeling that I had to enter in this also private and intimate dimension. It's very delicate to do it in cinema because, of course, you have the fear that you are somehow so obliging people to watch and to follow your intimate relation with your father. So why? Now, of course, the big question is why people should. Then when I started to write about it, I felt that it was not only about me, it was about what happened and is still happening in our life in this strange time, in this strange era. This condition of being blocked is, of course, connected with the occasion to think about yourself. So I tried to write my voiceover also in the direction of being in the same time private and public, so private and common. No? I tried to find in my real private relation with the silence, with the fragility, with the death, with the unpreventable phenomena of life, with destiny. I tried to find in this personal relation also public and common elements, which were somehow part of the experience we are living in this time. The writing process was quite long, at the same time to write. It was very important, the collaboration with Teo Teardo, is the musician of the film, because listening his music and recording my voice in his studio was an important process. And I recorded my voice something like 5-6 times. So it was also the recording and the listening of my voice and the listening of the relation between my voice images and the music was a very long and slow process. So we had to try different direction, of course, but we had the time because April, May, and June were simply months in which we couldn't do anything else. It was the right occasion to enter in the depth of this delicate relation between voice images, and music, and in the same time, delicate relation between private and public. So what I had to do in these days was simply that, and staying with my daughters. And also staying with my daughters was somehow connected with the topic of the film. So it was a good balance.
Thank you very much, Andrea, for sharing this with us. I would like to remember our audience that the film will be available for 72 hours, for 3 days, and as well as the discussion, and as well as the rest of the programming of the festival. We hope to see you in Lyon very soon with your next film, and hopefully doing this in real life.
Yes, I hope so.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your festival and for the work you do for documentaries.
Thank you. Ciao, Andrea.
Ciao.